Okay, I had a request to show all my tractors. Right here, this is my primary tractor. It's a Craftsman LTX 1000. At least that's what it's based off of. It has been modified to run a 6-speed manual, and it has a few extra add-on goodies, which I'll show in a second. But first off, I'd like to say I did sell the big red Craftsman DGT 6000, I believe it was. It went on Monday. I'll do a video on that at a later date, explaining a few things that ended up happening while the sale was going on. I'm not happy with them. It's all the tractor's fault, and basically ethanol-based fuel caused a lot of problems. And just as I was selling that tractor, the ethanol fuel came up and bit me in the ass yet again. And didn't cost me too bad. I still got rid of the tractor. It was a freebie, and it is gone. But anyways, I'm in the process of looking for another tractor. I currently only have two, my workhorse here and my racer, which I'll show in a second. I'm currently looking for a Craftsman or a Murray. I did kind of look at a Honda on Kijiji. I'll include pictures of all three right here. I'm more leaning towards the Craftsman and the Murray for obvious reasons. The Honda does have a gear drive transmission, but it's a gear drive hybrid mixed with a hydrostatic. So I don't think it would necessarily work under power additives, basically pulley swapped stuff like that. I don't think it would handle the extra pressures in the hydrostatic side of that transaxle. But so I'm primarily looking for a Murray or Craftsman. Believe me, finding them is a little bit on the difficult side. I found a few. One was a little bit too far away. I wish I would have bit the bullet and went out and got it. And the other one, they're asking way too much. My budget's right around 200 max. So that's what I'm looking for my next project. But here is what I currently have. Not necessarily projects. The one is, but this one is not. This one just needs a few more upgrades. So like I said, this is a Craftsman LTX 1000. That's what it's based off of. The engine is not factory. This is the engine that came out of my truck. The factory engine I sold on Kijiji for 400 bucks. So I needed the money and I didn't need the engine. This engine's starting to get tired, but it's still good enough. It's most likely going in whatever I find for my newest project, whenever I do find it and I do get it. Briggs 21 horse, it does say 19, but believe me, it's 21. Most likely this is getting the Vanguard V twin, 14 horse, plenty enough power for this tractor, and it's a straight bolt in. This originally had a hydrostatic rear end, sold the hydro, and I put a 6-speed in here. A lot more better for modifications. As everybody knows, you cannot modify a hydro. It's currently running a 5.5 inch up front, and it's running factory in the back. So it does go a bit faster than stock, so it's not too bad, but it's not fast enough. Really, the only other upgrades this thing has, besides the car battery, is an oil temp and oil pressure gauge, and the 12-volt outlet, which I believe all tractors should have. But from the steering wheel, you can tell this is a newer tractor. The hood says Kohler 15.5, but that came off of a parts tractor I bought a while back. I basically just bought the tractor for the rear end, the mounts, and a few other odds and ends. It was a step over tractor, if you know the older style where you guys lift your leg up over, unlike this one, which I call them a step through. This is what I call a unibody tractor. The other ones have more of a frame. That's why I didn't opt to lengthen this tractor. I might be putting a toolbox on the back, but unfortunately I had a brain fart last time I went to the scrapyard, and I scrapped a few side panels I had. So if I do decide to lengthen this chassis, I'm going to have to do it a little bit different way. I won't be able to use the side panels, and also have to do it a little bit different way, unless I find a set of side panels. But anyways, here it is. This tractor's been very reliable. No complaints with this tractor. The engine, like I said, it has its issues, but I do have my ways of solving those issues. Okay, here is my second tractor I currently own. This is my Craftsman Racer. Again, it's built off of an LTX platform. Unfortunately, this has first gen steering, so it's a little bit more sloppier, but believe me, this tractor is pretty good. It's been upgraded to run a 20.5 Kohler V twin, pressure lubricated. I did have an oil cooler for this at one point in time, but it will take quite a bit of modifications to run the oil cooler on it. So it's this factory. Believe me, an oil cooler would be nice on this. It does get hot. It currently does not run. It's having a little bit issues with the fuel pump, and I currently have no carburetor solenoid in this tractor. I needed it for the big red Craftsman, so this one sacrificed a few little parts to make that one almost perfect. But overall, this is a very fun tractor. It's very fast. It is lowered. It's lowered in the front. Please see the videos where I did show on how I did this. But basically, I stuck the front end up where the stock exhaust would go, and I pushed the front end forward, lengthened the steering arm, and I also lowered the rear end, so that's all been lowered as well. And it's running a little bit smaller tires in the back. I do have smaller tires for the front right here, all new bearings in them, both of them ready to go. I just haven't had a chance to put them on. It does have air horns. It does play the General Lee Dixie horn. That's what it is, and it is an air horn. They do function. They should be flipped upside down. Maybe whenever I do some more work on this at a later date, I will. Again, also, it's running a car battery. That's actually for a Honda Civic. Again, I'd like to start it up, but with the fuel pump issues, it just will not start. I do believe that battery's dead. Unfortunately, the tach does not work. It was working at one time, but every time I hook it up to one of the spark plug wires, it brings down the cylinder and it just won't provide enough power for the spark. So it currently does not work. If I can figure out a way to make that tach work, I will definitely. It would be kind of cool to have a working tach. The problem is having two cylinders, having two separate coils. If it was an opposed twin, it'd be a lot different. This tractor's actually had 2 or 3 different engine combinations. It's had an opposed twin. It's had a couple different single cylinder engines, and really the Kohler V twin here has lasted in this tractor the longest, besides its stock engine. Stock, this would have had a 17.5 Briggs overhead valve single cylinder, which was blown. Was pretty much blown when I got it. Had a lot of issues. I got other videos showing that engine, but it had a lot of issues. It does have oil temp right there. Believe me, that gauge definitely came in handy. That's why I want an oil cooler on this. Or if I blow it up, I blow it up. But try to keep it running cool. If I get a little bit too hot, I shut her off and let her cool down. But hopefully soon I'll get this back out, get the fuel pump figured out, get the carb figured out. It's also having a few shifting issues. The shifter is very stiff for some reason. I don't know if it's a linkage is binding up or what the issue is. I do have a new shifter linkage for it if it does come to putting that in. Hopefully it doesn't. To change it, it's not a fun job. But that's pretty much it. This is my current 2 tractors I have. I'll look at what I'm kind of looking for to buy for the future, and yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. So I'll talk to them later. Please click right next like always, and please try and comment.